Good evening, we're live at Kingsmeadow for WSL coverage between Chelsea and their London neighbours West Ham United. It's been some 66 days since Chelsea's last home match. This fixture was rearranged after a number of COVID cases in the Chelsea squad last month meant it couldn't be played. Now, Chelsea's league comeback didn't quite go to plan after being held to a 0-0 draw away at Brighton on Sunday. The Seagulls' resolute defending meant Chelsea missed the chance to close the gap on the league leaders Arsenal and slipped to third in the WSL table. Meanwhile, West Ham United moved up to 7th place following a comfortable 3-0 win against Everton on Sunday. But the Hammers don't fare so well in London derbies, only winning one of their 18 meetings against London opposition. It's Chelsea versus West Ham United in the Women's Super League kick-off here at Kingsmeadow in a little under 15 minutes' time. Let's firstly take a quick look at how the Barclays WSL table currently stands. Arsenal, as we've just mentioned, remain top, with Manchester United 2 points behind them in second place and Chelsea in third. Unbeaten in their last 5 league outings, West Ham are currently in 7th place, while Leicester City and Birmingham City make up the bottom 2. And joining me to take in all of the action from Kingsmeadow this evening is the former Blues defender currently at Aston Villa, Anita Asante. Firstly, let's talk about your current club before we go any further, because Aston Villa had an absolutely huge win, didn't they, at the weekend? Yeah,
fantastic win. We were delighted to pick up 3 points against Leicester away from home. It was a difficult game. Obviously scored in the last and added time, so it was massive. And, you know, we're just buzzing to go into the next game.
Yeah, big win against Leicester down at the bottom there. As for your former club, Chelsea, they were frustrated at Brighton on Sunday. At full time, Emma Hayes said she didn't know if it was a point gained or points dropped. How did you view it?
Yeah, I think it's difficult because it's tight at the top now, and she would have liked to have obviously secured that win, but you have to give credit to Brighton, who were resolute throughout the 90 minutes, and Chelsea will know that they can always create chances, and they did that.
What about West Ham then? Because, of course, this is another match between these two sides. We only saw it in the League Cup a week ago. Chelsea ran out winners that day 4-2, but West Ham have shown, particularly in the WSL of late, they can be a tough team to play against.
Well, we know what West Ham have to offer. You know, they're a tough team to meet. They've got consistency now. You know, they've got 5 wins back-to-back, so they've got good form at the moment. They'll believe in themselves, and they also scored 2 goals past Chelsea, so they'll feel they have some attacking threat tonight.
Well, there's plenty going on in the WSL at the moment in terms of brilliant action on the pitch, but it's also the transfer window. We've seen Carly Telford. She was in tears at full time at Brighton on Sunday. It turns out she has now joined San Diego Wave. And there's been an exciting new recruit at Aston Villa as well. And it's a recruit that you're very excited to have at the club, Anita.
Oh, yeah, this is unbelievable. I mean, we're ecstatic to have Jill Scott in our side, and I've played with Jill over the years, so I know exactly what she can bring to our team. She's got a wealth of experience. She's a talented, you know, box-to-box, hard-working player, and we're just delighted to have her.
Yeah, and what will she bring to this side, to your side? Because you have played with her before, and it sounds like she had other offers to go to other clubs, but she chose Aston Villa.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great coup for us to get a player like Jill, you know, with her experience, and she's just an engine, you know, for every team she plays. She doesn't stop running and working hard for her team, but she's a great communicator, and I think she'll really help some of our younger players as well develop and kick on as well.
Yeah, huge signing for Aston Villa. I can see the smile on your face talking about Jill Scott and her arrival at Aston Villa. But back to the game here tonight. Early on, I caught up with both of the managers. Let's start with Emma Hayes. Emma, your first home game since December the 8th. Does it feel good to be back?
It's fantastic. It feels like an eternity since we've been with the fans and been here. We love playing here and really looking forward to it.
Just over 3 days since the draw at Brighton. How do you reflect on that, and how are you going to improve on that today?
Listen, we're in a good place. I've said it the other day. I like the way the team's playing. We're creating lots of chances. Just need one of them to go in tonight. I know what we're like at home, and I fully expect another dominant performance from us.
Is this another opportunity to really pile the pressure on Arsenal?
Listen, we're Chelsea. We don't care about any other team, because the reality is we have to focus on getting ourselves right, like not worrying about where anybody else is. Like, we have to improve upon the result of the weekend, win tonight, score lots of goals, impress the fans, work hard, all of those things.
It is, of course, a week on since you last faced Chelsea. Not the result you'd have wanted that time. What did you learn from that game that you can take into tonight?
Not too much, just that they obviously have a lot of quality, and we knew that before we played the last game. So for us, it's about consistency of performance. upping our quality levels and being able to be competitive during out the game.
What will you need to do tonight if you are to keep going with this unbeaten run?
Well, certainly score more goals than them. That'll be the first part. Yeah, look, I think we just need to be a little bit more solid defensively in certain phases of the game, particularly in transition.
Best of luck tonight.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
That's the thoughts of the managers earlier on here at Kings Meadow. Now, both teams will be without key players today as the Asia Cup is currently taking place. One of the players that West Ham will be missing is their captain and also the Australia captain, Tamika Yallop. And before she went away, she caught up with Caroline de Moraes.
Tamika, how are you enjoying life at West Ham? Because you were the club's first signing this season.
I've settled in really well, actually. I think the team environment and the team culture that Ollie had started to set up at the end of last season really helped me come straight in and yeah, settle in. So I've been enjoying my time here.
Talk about Ollie's philosophy.
Yeah, I think he's definitely big on team culture and having not just a positive team environment, but a welcoming one too. We do have internationals and it's been really easy for our internationals to come in and connect and really feel like we've made a home here. So I think off the field he really sets up a good environment that everyone wants to be in, and then it sort of emulates on the field. Everyone wants to play for each other and do well.
And how do you think his style influences the team? I guess you've talked about so many internationals. How do you think that translates to the pitch?
Yeah, I think he does pretty well at bringing out the best in each individual player, and you do have players that have different strengths to others, so I think it's the combination of sort of working, getting those players to work well together, and then as a complete unit, as a team as well, which I think he's done really well with.
Your wife and your little Bubba are still back in New Zealand. That's got to be so tough.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the toughest scenarios or situations that I've been in probably in my life, yeah. Once you kind of get a point of separation where you're not sure when you're going to see them next, it really changes your perspective on life and sort of what's important. So really looking forward to seeing them soon.
Does Harley Rose watch you on the TV? Does she know which one you are? Can she pick you out yet?
Yeah, she does. She definitely recognises me, and we've been on FaceTime a lot, so she knows what I look like on the phone and on TV, and it's kind of heartbreaking watching her watch me, because she kind of just says ta and wants me to pass her the ball, even though I'm not actually in the same room as her. So it is very cute watching her, yeah.
Yallop gets there, can she score it? Maybe she does. She keeps her cool, Tamika Yallop.
And for you personally, we can see how focused you are. What are your ambitions with West Ham this season?
If anything, I think we've sort of underperformed with the points that we've had on offer and that we could have taken, and I think that's a real positive. And I think not just myself, but the rest of the team are really pushing to finish as high as we can on the ladder, and everyone wants to push for that Champions League spot as well. So I think I have high expectations of what we want to do here, and I think the rest of the team does too.
Well, I am sure Harley is incredibly proud of her mum at the moment away playing in the Asia Cup. Must be so tough, though, being away from her for as long as she has been. Let's focus now, though, Anita, on players who will be on the pitch today, because, of course, Yallop won't be involved. Let's start with West Ham. Who have you picked out as their key player?
For me, it has to be Claudia Walker, but I mean, it could name a number of players, but, she's joint top goal scorer along with two of other teammates, and she's, arrives in the right place, her timing, her instinct. She's always in the box, and she's a clinical finisher. And she's a sort of striker that doesn't hesitate to take on the responsibility and shoot.
Is she hard to play against?
Definitely a difficult player to play against, because she's quick, but she's also technical. And that finish is an unbelievable finish outside of the box, and she shows her qualities.
In terms of Chelsea, we could pick out a number of players, couldn't we? Because they have so many attacking riches. Been struggling for goals, haven't scored in 2 in the WSL. But Pernilla Harder got a hat-trick last week in the League Cup. How impressive have you been with her?
I mean, we all know what a threat Pernilla is. The way she carries and drives past players with the ball into the box. She's difficult to play against, because she just carries on the team into those attacking areas. Her timing, her intelligence and her movement to just get on the end of things in the right moments is a real asset to Chelsea.
Well, it's not long to go until kick-off here. How do you see this one going? Emma Hayes, as we heard in her interview then, was really buoyant, said her team are playing really well.
Well, she seemed very relaxed, didn't she?
Yeah.
I think Chelsea will want to start off brightly with lots of intensity, you know, dominate the ball and get those players into good attacking positions like Pernilla, like Guru Wrighton, players that are really going to deliver crosses into the box and make things happen. But they want to start off quick and make it tough for West Ham to really get into a rhythm.
Is it just a case of needing to be more clinical? Also, we should say there that she's just been seen talking to Lauren James back on the bench today. Huge boost for Chelsea. The Chelsea fans will be delighted. But is it just a case of being more clinical for Chelsea?
I mean, if you look at Chelsea's stats, then yes, you know, they have created the most chances. Their XG is extremely high of all the clubs in our division. And the top 3 players on the list in terms of assists is in this Chelsea side. So they're doing the right things. They just need to put the ball in the back of the net.
Well, hopefully we'll see plenty of goals here at Kingsmeadow. Almost time for kick-off, so time for me to hand you over to your commentary team. It's Laura Bassett and Pete Mullenstein.
Thank you, Kelly. Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to Kingsmeadow as Chelsea host West Ham in the Women's Super League. Chelsea will be hoping to shake off their weekend woes as they continue their quest to catch the current leaders Arsenal. Emma Hayes' side were held to a goalless draw by Brighton on Sunday, which saw the Blues drop into 3rd in the Women's Super League table, 4 points off the top spot. A win today could see the current champions close the gap to just a point. As for the visitors, West Ham then, they've never beaten the Blues in all of their previous meetings, but now might just be the perfect time to find their first. The Hammers come into this match 5 games unbeaten in the league, and after a comfortable win against Everton at the weekend, Ollie Harder's side find themselves 7th in the table and just 5 points from the top 3. Well, 9 meetings between these two London sides, the last of those coming just 1 week ago when the Blues ran out 4-2 winners in the League Cup quarter-finals. This is the team that Emma Hayes has picked to come out this time. 2 changes for Chelsea. In come Sophie Ingle and Niamh Charles, with Jess Carter and Drew Spence dropping to the bench. Canadian gold medalist Jessie Fleming lines up alongside Pernilla Harder, has netted hat-tricks in 2 of her last 3 outings against West Ham. Well, Ollie Harder has never got the better of Chelsea in 3 attempts. He names 3 changes since his side's 3-0 victory over Everton at the weekend. Emma Snurler, Mel Phillis and Hawa Sissoko come in as Gilly Flaherty and Abby Stringer drop to the bench. And Dagny Brynjas-Dottir is missing through illness. Well, delighted to have the former England defender Laura Bassett alongside me. Laura, really looking forward to this one. West Ham, the team in form at the moment, but Chelsea need to pick up the points. What are you expecting from this game?
Well, it's really interesting with these two sides meeting only last week in the quarter-final of the Continental Cup. You know, first half, there was nothing really to choose between them, but second half, Chelsea really played at a different, dominant level, and Pernilla Harder was the outstanding performer on that day. So, but even though when you play a team so close that 7 days later, the game is never the same. So, really interesting, because you'd like to say that the confidence is with West Ham right now.
Well, the referee this evening is Ryan Atkin. Well, the players from both teams this evening will wear a black armband as a mark of respect for Milo Caton, a West Ham fan who sadly passed away at the age of 7 after a 5-year battle with cancer, and for Richard Bignell, a former colleague of Chelsea Football Club, who also sadly passed away this month. Well, Emma Hayes will be looking to pick up the points and keep that title challenge going, of course, looking to retain the challenge of keeping that title. They won last season, of course. Not her full squad to pick up from this time. A couple of her key players away at the Asia Cup, a couple of players missing through injury. We're almost ready to get underway here, as the players take the knee to continue the message that racism has no place in society. And it's Chelsea who get us underway. The Blues hoping they can close the gap on league leaders Arsenal, whilst West Ham will want to keep their good form going a little bit longer. The Blues got the better of the Hammers last week. Laura, how do you see this one going today?
Really interesting. I think West Ham are missing some vital players with Abilene Stringer on the bench, and Gilly Flaherty, really interesting with Brynja's Dottier. A lot of good play that West Ham do, especially going forward, goes through Brynja's Dottier, so it'll be really interesting to see how they get on without her. And great to see Sissoko back in the side at the heart of that defence. You know, she's reads the game well, such an aggressive, intelligent player that I think sometimes, you know, last week Chelsea exploited the space behind them, and that's what Sissoko does. She reads that, senses that danger, and sniffs it out really well.
Well, here come Chelsea. Already quite a bit of pace to this game in the opening 50 seconds or so. The ball's just been taken away there from Pernilla Harder. Well, West Ham had a pretty comfortable win against Everton in their last game. They'll be hoping to turn things around in the last meeting against Chelsea, as they were knocked out of the League Cup. Chelsea beating them by 4 goals to 2. Berger. Laura Emma Hayes has spoken about the opportunity that she can give to players, especially having not as big of a squad as Chelsea try and come forward here. Brighton crosses the ball, just misses Fran Kirby, who was just ahead of the ball, and it's taken away by Svitkova. And West Ham looking to go forward with Claudia Walker. It's well intercepted in a way, out for a throw-in.
Svitkova's really dangerous when she picks up those loose balls and she drives inside. We've seen how dangerous she was on Sunday against Everton. She really enjoys that, picks up the ball, progresses up the pitch, and it's a real sign and intent for her team to follow her.
Fisk wearing the captain's armband today. Lovely ball into the box. Decent delivery, but it's cleared away in the end. Just a moment for West Ham to look and take the advantage. They couldn't quite make the most of it. Neither could Fran Kirby.
West Ham are so dominant down the sides of the pitch. They play quite vertical, keep it the side of the pitch, but when they do get it there, they do deliver good balls. So Chelsea really need to be aware of that and sort it out quite early.
And that ball from Harder looking for the runner Fran Kirby, but slightly too much on that one. And left for the West Ham goalkeeper Anna Leeds, who's in goal. He's taking the place, of course, of Mackenzie Arnold, who's away at the Asia Cup as well. Anna Leeds. Longhurst trying to get around Anderson. Seems to go back in the end. Well, it was just spilled there by Berger, and she was fouled as she was trying to get that ball away. Referee spotted it.
When crosses come in from the right, Berger likes to come and collect crosses, really enjoys that challenge. But you're right, Claudia Walker, I think, just comes across her, prevents her kicking early.
Anderson finds Harder. Harder's ball was taken away from her, but Kirby's chasing this one down. It'll be Sissoko who's spotted that, and out to Leeds. Phyllis. Back to Fisk. Now Svitkova. Gets away from Cuthbert.
I think already in these opening 5 minutes, Mal Phillips has picked up some really good areas in between the units, and she's really dangerous. She can either switch the ball or turn and run at this Chelsea defence. that she's certainly in these how West Ham have set up. She's really interested in how her key role is going to play.
It'll be the first corner for West Ham. The first opportunity for West Ham to see if they can try and get an opening in this game. It's a decent delivery in, and it's a towering header from Millie Bright, who was able to get it away. Only as far as Phyllis. Well, the West Ham manager, Ollie Harder, said that he had to do a little bit of rotation with Gilly Flatty, who's on the bench, of course. This is a huge game for West Ham as well, who have been in such good form, and this is a real opportunity, isn't it, for them to try and get some points against the champions.
It really is. I think if you look at West Ham as a whole, they're a really intriguing team. I think the growth has been really evident under Ollie Harder, especially this season. I think if you look after 11 games last season, they only have 7 points. They've already got 17 points, so really interesting. You can see they're in a totally different space to they were last season. But it's interesting that Gilly Flatty has been rotated, because she is a big heart of this team, been at the club a long time now, and I think she's a big influence in the dressing room. So really interesting to see how they got on without her, because we don't normally see a West Ham team without her.
Little push in the back there from Emma Snurler on Erin Cuthbert. Well, those fans and players from both sides start an applause on the 7th minute of this game for a very brave young girl, Isla Caton, who sadly passed away at the age of 7 after a 5-year battle with cancer. Chelsea also, of course, remembering Richard Bignell, former colleague as well of Chelsea Football Club, who sadly passed away this month. Well, Pernilla Harder was taken down there by Sissoko. Perhaps looking from something from the referee. Not given it, though. Well, that was a foul on Fleming from Fisk. He's not letting it go a second time.
No, that's interesting. I think there was more in the Sissoko challenge the moment before than that one, but really interesting first time for Chelsea to get the ball into West Ham's box. Here we go, Jessie Fleming does really well, changes the direction of the ball. It's a good little feint from her. Well, it will be Erin Cuthbert to take this as Gura Wrighton steps aside. Well, Pernilla Harder was arriving. Too much on that one for her to get onto it, though. Here's Bright. Fleming. To Bright. There's Cuthbert.
Well, Wrighton was arriving. Just couldn't quite get the connection that she wanted on that.
Really good delivery from Erin Cuthbert. You can see what she was trying to do. Millie Bright had stayed high up the pitch from the corner. Nearly connected to her.
Now West Ham looking to come forward. Easily picked up though by Anderson. Ingle.
Really interesting there, just for a minute when Anderson had the ball, there was 5 Chelsea players up against 3 back players of West Ham. If they play the space in behind a little bit quicker, they definitely overload them at the top of the pitch. Just being brave enough to play that ball into space a little bit quicker.
Nowen. Laid off by Wright and looking for Harder. Well, Chelsea will definitely be looking to get that final product, because in that goalless draw against Brighton, they had an incredible amount of shots, 26 shots to Brighton's 4, none of them able to find the back of the net. Just picked up here. Fleming tried to intercept that one.
That's right, they were certainly dominant on Sunday against Brighton. Really well drilled, looked really comfortable in possession, dominated in most areas. But, you know, this set of players have got a lot of experience in their ranks. They know what it takes to be champions. They know what it takes to be winners. And at their standards, it probably wasn't good enough in that final third. Maybe that extra little bit of composure, calmness of the brain to execute that final shot. So I'm sure they'll know that and want to rectify it tonight.
Kirby finds the pass on to Wrighton. Back to Kirby.
They were guilty of some of those situations on Sunday where maybe in that instance Wrighton can whip the ball there. Harder's waiting centrally for the ball, the early ball, but I think on Sunday as well we just saw that they were trying to find that perfect goal or that perfect pass. So maybe sometimes it's a bit like taking a West Ham approach where get the ball into the box early and really try and create trouble and create havoc.
Delivery comes in and straight out, but it's spilled away by the West Ham keeper and just couldn't quite find the back of the net there, Niamh Charles. What an opportunity that was for Chelsea as Hannah Lee just spilled it out of her hands.
Really uncharacteristic from her. I think since she's been in goal from Mackenzie Arnold, she's done really well and she's normally clean on those crosses.
Well, they'll go again, Chelsea. Direct header in then from Harder. Keeps it in play, and Bright is there. And eventually West Ham able to clear that danger away. Not far enough as Anderson comes forward. She keeps going. It's a good delivery, and there's Harder, punched away. And that is a brilliant save from the West Ham keeper. Still not away though. Now Kirby into Wrighton. Now with a header into Anderson, and eventually it can be away. Only as far as Ingle again, and West Ham really struggling to get away from this one. Now with a header now. And it's safely in the hands of Anna Leet.
What a couple of fabulous opportunities that was for Chelsea, really cranking up the pressure now. Great delivery from the left-hand side. Jonna Anderson does so well, skips the tackle from Kate Longhurst. And Pernilla Harder, we've seen her get a hat-trick in this reverse fixture last week. You know, she connects with it really well, and it's a good save from Anna Leet. It's straight at her. But again, what an opportunity that is. Probably the best of the game.
Spitkova forward. And this time Berger anticipated that one, but she does collide in the end. Claudia Walker came.
Claudia Walker does so well. She's here, she's alive, she's ready to threaten that back line, and it's a good tackle from Berger, ready to come out in the 50-50 challenge. A bit unorthodox, but it works in the end.
Big ball forward there from Berger. Picked up by Pernilla Harder, and that is a foul spotted straight away by the referee. On to Erin Cuthbert. And there will be a card. And it goes the way of Lucy Parker.
West Ham started their own troubles with the header that fisted in the wrong direction back towards her goal, which creates a little bit of uncertainty here. It's the right decision. Clipped Erin Cuthbert's heels.
Well, again, it's Laura Wrighton and Erin Cuthbert who stand over this one for Chelsea. Erin Cuthbert already on 4 goals this season. She'll be looking to add to her tally. There's Wrighton with the delivery, and it's a decent one. Just skimmed the top of the goal.
Really good attempt, wasn't it? It was dipping all the while. She gets it up and down quite quickly. I think another yard away, and that would have been going in just under the crossbar. Really good effort. The pace that it had on as well was really difficult for goalkeepers.
Well, the opening 17 minutes or so, West Ham keeper Anna Leet has had quite a bit of work to do.
But somehow that's what West Ham do well, isn't it? They soak up the pressure, whether the opposition are putting balls into the box. They've got good height, good physicality at the back, and they're ready to defend anything that comes into their 18-yard box, and they do it well. And they manage to soak up that pressure, soak up the momentum, and get through it.
Charles. That's Cuthbert. Back to Bright. Anderson. Here's Nowen.
You can see West Ham go player for player. They're quite aggressive, out of possession, really looking for the transitions for the first and second ball game to try and win back the ball.
Well, that was a pretty strong tackle there from Sissoko. She'll be going in the books as well. 2 players on yellow cards within the opening 20 minutes for West Ham now. And she's got to be careful, Sissoko, because she's just come back from suspension after a red card.
That's it. It's a real challenge now, isn't it, for Sissoko? See her mentality, how she approached, how she calms down maybe in this game. You know, maybe she needs a teammate now to say to her, look, calm down, just hold the player up, stand the player up. As long as she goes backwards or sideways, you don't really need to have to be making those types of challenge in the centre of the pitch. Erin Cuthbert wasn't really going to hurt us, so really need to concentrate.
There's a strong delivery from Bright, looking for Wrighton.
going back to Sissoko, it'll be interesting to see if Ollie Harder trusts her now to carry on through the rest of the game, or maybe Julie Flaherty is 100% fit, whether he changes that at half-time, not to risk anything. Just like you say, she's already been sent off twice. To be sent off 3 times in a season, I don't know, it must be a WSL record. I'm just putting it out there.
And at this stage of the season as well.
Just doesn't seem to be worth the risk.
Here come West Ham, though. Ball blocked by Bright. Back to Fisk. Svitkova just wrestling that ball away from Cuthbert, but it was a throw into Chelsea and they take it quickly. Bright. Nowen. Cuthbert. Sissoko will chase this one down, but she's got to go up against Kirby.
It feels like every time Chelsea go down the left-hand side with Anderson, with Wrighton, with Fran Kirby making the runs in behind, they create something, whether it's a corner, a cross into the box, like we saw Harder's header earlier. Something creates, they look lively, look like they're really threatening down that left-hand side.
Just couldn't quite prevent that corner from coming in, Sissoko. Whenever he comes in, it's all the way out to Ingle on that far side. Just off the top of the crossbar. She had a go.
Sophie Ingle does so well in situations like these. She keeps the ball alive, she keeps the phaser play alive. Just needs to better execution on that one.
Was it a cross-come shot?
Yeah, I think so.
She would have taken it though if it went in.
We've certainly seen her score some cracking goals over the years in this WSL.
Well, no goals yet this season for Sophie Ingle. She has scored 3 goals for Chelsea, though, against West Ham. A bit too much of a heavy touch there from Kirby. Paul Konchesky watching along. The West Ham assistant manager. Svitkova. Now Sissoko. Wine. Svitkova. Lays that ball off nicely for Evans. And then eventually cleared away by Bright. Fran Kirby is the player that's just holding her ankle. Seems to be okay though. Lisa Evans joining West Ham on loan from Arsenal. Already got a goal to her name.
And that's what Lisa Evans does so well. Runs in behind, gets on the ends. Svitkova just plays the space and finds Lisa Evans' run, and that's how they cause a lot of problems for a lot of teams.
Berger. And there's another challenge from Sissoko. Onto Frankovic. She does need to be careful, doesn't she, Laura?
Yeah, and you know, you don't, in defenders like that, especially when you've got 3 centre-backs, you know, you want to push forward, you want to be super aggressive and try and get the ball in front. And we just seen a minute ago how effective she is when she does, because she wins the ball and she can drive and start an attack. But when she gets it wrong and miss time...
Harder with the ball in. Not quite controlled by Fleming. And Svikova sends that ball back up the pitch, but not far enough. And Snurler picks it up to Wine, and now Longhurst. Intercepted there by Anderson. Out to Kirby, gets away wonderfully from Sissoko, and Cuthbert will take a shot. It was a decent move from Chelsea.
Again, that left-hand side with Jonna Anderson drives. Frank Kirby does really well to do a pirouette, turn, finds Cuthbert. And Cuthbert had a chance like this on Sunday against Brighton. And I think we've seen her before be a little bit more composed. We know she has the ferocious shot and the power, but a little bit more composure, take off a little bit power. You know, I'm sounding like it's really easy, I wouldn't know. But, you know, we've seen Cuthbert really has a composed brain, and you'd expect her to find the target with that chance. But that's certainly how I think Chelsea can upset this West Ham team. Go down one side, switch the ball really quickly so that these defenders can't set up and get a shot on the other side.
Berger. Here's Wrighton. Charles. Fleming. Ball wasn't quite on for Ingle. Parker. Longhurst sends that ball forward, looking for Evans. Walker's arriving as well. It just came off perhaps the back of Walker. That could have been dangerous.
Really strange decision from Nguyen there to play a long ball across your goal. You know, Claudia Walker, she stays alive. She's not afraid. She'll get hit if it means she scores a goal.
Well, straight away, Chelsea were looking to try and come on the attack. Jessie Fleming had travelled with the ball. Travelled into danger. You can hear the Chelsea fans saying, "We love you, Carly," of course, after the news that she's, of course, left Chelsea. Pursue some new dreams in America. Now Walker. Challenge there by Nguyen.
Both Claudia Walker and Lisa Evans do this really well. Face you up and they run at you. They make you commit and then move the ball or move their body accordingly to draw in the foul. Really smart play.
Well, it's Svikova who'll take this one for West Ham. Strong delivery in. Just missed the net of Wine at the far post.
Really good, consistent delivery Svikova's got, really dangerous. The pace, any touch from an attacker or defender on that ball, and it's going goalward.
Wrighton. Strong run here from Harder. Got away from Parker and ball just behind the feet of Cuthbert, and the flag was up.
It's just a reminder for West Ham, always need to switch on, especially when you've enjoyed the ball, enjoyed an attacking free kick for a moment. A ball into space, Pernilla Harder, she's so acceleration quick, she reads the play and she's in behind your back line. But all credit to Sissoko, that's when she's at her best. She can recover quickly and delay the attack.
Ingle. Back to Charles. Fisk was the player to get there first. And now Phyllis. Comfortably back there by Cuthbert. To her keeper, Berger. Fisk. Nowen. Here's Anderson. Svitkova. Snarler. Chasing this ball down, but Charles is too quick for it. And the referee spotted the foul on Snarler.
I thought it was good defending from Niamh Charles, to be honest. I think Snurler does well to face her up, but then she has got her arm on her, but I think Charles just uses her pace to get in front of her and win the ball.
Delivery comes in from Svitkova, away by Bright. Phyllis had an opportunity but couldn't quite get the shot away.
In terms of set pieces and West Ham balls into the box from set pieces, they're certainly missing Brynjarsdottir and Abilene Stringer, Gilly Flaherty, who are all immense in the air, real physical presence, love heading the ball and attacking things. You know, they're three huge players from set pieces that would cause this Chelsea team a lot of problems.
Harder. Nice ball over to Kirby. Here's Cuthbert. She had help arriving, but it was blocked in the end by Sissoko and out for a corner.
Fantastic play by Chelsea. That really smart ball out from Berger. Doesn't go in the air. West Ham want you to play it in the air, so it's a first ball, second ball game. Drilled out. Really smart take from Harder to play around the corner, and Cuthbert's off.
The corner was taken short out to Wrighton, and there's the header. Pernilla Harder was just waiting to see if the West Ham goalkeeper, Leith, would spill it. She didn't. She had firm grip on that one.
All credit to Chelsea to try a different corner, change the angle of the delivery, so it's a little bit of an easier header. But Leith was up to the task.
Fisk finds Svitkova. Snurler decided to have a go. Rebounds out to Longhurst, who sends it in. And Berger's there. We have to say as well, since those couple of opportunities that Chelsea had that were, you know, a couple of opportunities in quick succession as well, they've not had too much luck and real chances after that.
No, that's right. I think that's what, like I say, the mentality, and physicality of West Ham. That's what they do, the ability to stay in games, to find a way, to stay connected, to defend properly. You know, you really have to work hard to break down this West Ham team because of the numbers and the physicality that they have. They ride out, grind it out with the ability to stay in the game. And you always know with willing runners of Evans and Walker, you always know, get the ball forward, play linear, play vertically, and you have willing runners that will chase down the ball and make something happen.
Well, a reminder that next week Chelsea against Manchester City is live in the Women's Super League on BBC Two. That gets underway at 12:15. A huge, huge game between the two sides. Longhurst. Only got as far as Nowen. Longhurst again looking for Walker, but they just can't get anything into the box really at the moment, West Ham. Harder chasing this ball down, and she's done well to get that ball. Here comes Harder, has a shot herself. It was great work, great back from Pernilla Harder. She was able to create the space and she had a go.
See, Harder picks a pocket. Parker was too slow on the ball. You can't be slow on the ball when Harder's around. Again, there's a 3v3 situation. Good runners from Chelsea. Decides to go on her own, but maybe needs to put a little bit more pace on the shot.
Kirby, ball over the top, looking for Harder. Goes down, but the referee says no penalty. Charles. Now Kirby. In looking for Wrighton. It was away by Longhurst. A spell of pressure coming from Chelsea. Wrighton with the ball in.
I think Anneliek's done that well tonight. Come and sense the danger, come off her line. She's not scared, she's very confident. She gives an aura of presence that she's going to stand her ground, make clear decisions.
Penalty in your eyes or not?
It's a close one, isn't it? It's really clumsy, and you can't make those clumsy tackles in the 18-yard box. We've seen them give them.
Well, Kirby's come chasing that ball down to put the pressure on, and she did her job well because the ball went out of play. Ingle. Wine. There's Walker, back to Svitkova. Sissoko.
I think as the game's gone on, Chelsea have got a little bit closer to West Ham. The press has been a little bit closer, more together, more compact, a little bit quicker. And that's how I think they're sustaining the wave after wave of attack.
Svitkova spotted the run of Evans. Walker is there in the box. The foul's there from Snurler onto Cuthbert. Well, the referee is saying Erin Cuthbert kicked the ball. Don't think she actually meant that to be the free kick taken, but anyway, Chelsea had the throw-in. Now they come forward with Harder. Hanning and Kirby both in the box, but it's Wrighton. Charles. Here's Ingle. Charles was in some space. Now Cuthbert. Back to Charles, and Harder with a direct header and just across the face of goal.
It was a similar attack that got them a goal last week against West Ham. A great ball in from the right, and we know Pernilla Harder, she's so good with her feet, but she's also really prolific with her head. Just going wide. She's beat 2 West Ham players in the air. Her determination, the desire to want to get on the end of that cross. Again, same story so far, just got to find that clinical edge, that extra little bit of concentration.
Well, Fleming chasing this ball down against Fisk. Fisk gets away and out to Evans, who now has a bit of work to do to get away from Bright. Bright is the player that's able to get onto the ball. Ingle. Fleming leaves it for Bright. Svikavo takes it away and takes it further up the field for West Ham. Now Longhurst. Phyllis and Walker are joining her up top. Was into the box looking for Walker, didn't quite find her. Parker. And that's straight into the hands of the Chelsea keeper. Cuthbert looking for that early ball to Harder.
It's definitely a way that Chelsea can attack West Ham, counter the counter, end-to-end just before this first half finishes. But when you are going to counter, you need to make clear decisions, the right decisions with the right execution.
Now, Bright. Well, West Ham have been a difficult team to try and get the goals past. As Pernilla Harder comes forward. Stopped by Sissoko, but West Ham only conceding 12 league goals so far this season. Only Chelsea, Arsenal and Spurs have conceded fewer than that. Charles with the ball in. Bit of a dangerous layoff from Longhurst there. See you shaking your head, Laura.
No, as in it's not dangerous. I love that. It just shows that a player's thinking. She's intelligent. She's smart. And what it does show, it shows she knows what's around her. Her awareness. She's thinking a step ahead. Really clever, and that shows her experience, Kate Longhurst. The goalkeeper might not see it that way if she wasn't on the same wavelength. But no, it just shows her aura, a composed, you know, really assured about what you're doing.
Charles. Cuthbert to Anderson.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 3 minutes added time.
3 minutes added on here in the first half. Still goalless, but Again, plenty of opportunities for Chelsea. Try and get themselves on the score sheet. They haven't done so yet in this first half. Fisk. Through to Snell. Now Walker. Owen. Anderson. Parker sends that one down the line. Kirby turns and gets away. Now Harder's free to run, but Sissoko does well to get that ball away from her.
Fantastic move from Chelsea. That quick, that's where you want to feed Fran Kirby the ball, so she has the ability to turn and drive out this West Ham defence, play her through. But all credit to Sissoko, keeping her head, keeping her calm, fighting off Harder and clearing the danger. Really well defended, credit to her.
Ingle. Here's some space now for Charles. Cross comes in, headed away by Sissoko, only as far as Cuthbert, and blocked by Fisk. No foul there on Walker from Bright. Chelsea play on. Brighton. Anderson. Here's Harder. Now to the far side to Brighton, who swings it in. Ingle on the edge of the box. And Bright's urge to shoot. She does. It went flying.
It set up nicely, didn't it, for Melly Bright? You can see why her decision was to shoot. We've seen her score screamers in the Community Shield from that distance, and the pressure was on her. But again, probably from her teammates' point of view, they'll be just disappointed that it didn't get recycled and another ball into the box when they had good numbers.
Nice to go for the spectacular sometimes, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, like you say, it sets up nicely when you think, you know, you try something different, don't you?
Well, there goes the half-time whistle. Plenty of opportunities for Chelsea,
So the
but
half-time
West
score is
Ham
Chelsea
were
nil,
able
West
to keep
Ham
them at bay as it stands. There was a fantastic opportunity for Pernilla Hardy, who had a couple of headers directly at goal. None of them able to work out, though. Plenty of shots on target for Emma Hayes, the side as they had at the weekend as well. She'll be hoping it won't be the same result, though. This time around, they've got work to do. Both teams at half-time. Chelsea 0, West Ham United 0.
Yeah, frustrating half in front of goal once again for Emma Hayes. Is Chelsea goalless between them and West Ham at the break. I've been watching this one in the company of Anita Asante. What did you make of that first half? Because Chelsea once again had so much of the ball but just couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, I think Chelsea started off brightly. You know, they created a lot of chances. Once they broke that midfield bank of five and got into those wide channels, they got a lot of crosses into the box, and it's kind of crying out for a Sam Kerr.
You said that to me, didn't you, midway through?
Who's, you know, brilliant in the air, good in the box to attack. But to be fair, you know, Pernilla's been lively, and she's gotten the end of some of those crosses as well.
Yeah, you said about Pernilla being lively before the game. She's certainly proved to be in that opening 45 minutes, starting with this, a brilliant header. Is it a bad miss from her, or is it just a brilliant save from the goalkeeper?
Well, I think, you know, it's a great cross in from Jonna Anderson, and Pernilla does well to arrive late into the box on the far post and connect with the ball. And I think she does everything right. She goes to attack the ball, and I think Leeds makes an incredible save.
Does this just sum up Chelsea's luck a little bit at the moment, do you think?
Yeah, I think you've got to give credit to West Ham as well. They've been very resilient as a group, defending and riding some of this pressure early on in this first half and getting clearances and around the box, because Chelsea just keep going. They keep coming at you. You got Erin Cuthbert running at you. You got Guru Wright on overloads in the wide areas. So they have to just stay alert the whole game.
We talked about Harder being involved in a lot of what Chelsea have done well so far in this half. She was also involved in this penalty shout. When you're watching this, Anita, what did you make of it? Did the referee get it right?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one from the referee because she's got a lot of bodies around her in that moment. Sissoko's, trying to defend from behind, and perhaps a little bit clumsy from the West Ham defenders, but maybe not clear and obvious.
Sissoko as well, already on a yellow card. We've already seen her sent off twice so far this season. Now, Chelsea have actually had 74 shots since they last scored a goal in the WSL, which tells you probably where their problems are. And Harder had another chance later on in the half as well, didn't she?
Well, yeah, we know they don't have any problems creating chances and opportunities, but it's being clinical in and around the box and actually getting those chances on targets. And the ratio of opportunities to targets aren't, very good at the moment.
This was the one that I was mentioning from later in the half from Harder. A header once again. This time she just put it wide.
Yeah, it's again a lovely delivery into the box and Harder arrives in the far post again, out jumps to the West Ham defenders, connects with the ball perfectly but doesn't hit the target. And that kind of summarises Chelsea at the moment. They're creating a lot in the right areas, they're arriving in the right timing and getting players and overloads in the right areas, but they're just not clinical.
Yeah, Emma Hayes will undoubtedly be saying that she needs her side to be more clinical in this second half if they are to get that win, to really pile the pressure on Arsenal at the top of the WSL table. And as you can see, Kingsmeadow is full of young fans here tonight and lots of female fans as well. So many female fans following the WSL and, of course, the men's game in England. And recently, for Football Focus, I spoke to some female fans about their experiences following their team both home and away and how it felt sometimes when they did travel to games. Some of these scenes and some of the tales that are told within this piece, viewers may find distressing.
The thing that I love most about football,
that magic night in Amsterdam.
1999.
It's got to be Aguero!
It's got to be that Deeney goal.
Sheringham pops up, 1-1.
Penalty saved twice.
And then boom.
Deeney! Pitch invasion!
And honestly, there was nothing like it. We were in that ground for hours afterwards. What a brilliant feeling. The FSA, the Football Supporters Association, did a survey at the back end of last year of 2,000 women football fans. 1 in 5 of women football fans said that they've had unwanted physical attention, and 1 in 2 have experienced sexism. That's enormous, and actually the FSA did a similar survey in 2014, and actually those numbers have risen. Now,
wow.
Is it because things are worse? Maybe. Is it because we're more aware of it and actually we're saying this isn't acceptable anymore? I think that's probably the case.
It is predominantly men that go to football. At what point, Kate, did you realise that actually there's a lot of men here and maybe I'm slightly different, there's not as many women?
Stepping into Vicarage Road as it was back in 1999, you step in and you hear a male stadium announcer, and then you go to the toilet and the ladies' toilets are rubbish, but the men aren't complaining about the toilet, and then there's men running around on a pitch, and I'm surrounded by men as well, because yes, there are a few women, but it's pretty much maybe 1 woman per group. I don't know if that's like your experiences. And so I just didn't see a place for myself, I suppose. Yeah, it felt a very sort of male-dominated space and not a space that was open to change.
One thing that football fans do is sing and they chant and they make lots of noise. Yeah. But do you ever remember hearing chants when you were younger or at any point that you thought, hold on a second, I don't know if I'm totally comfortable with that?
I was 15. There was actually four girls, all 15-year-old, and we were on the football special, which was chartered by Manchester City in them days. And so everyone on it was City fans walking through a carriage to go to the Buffy carriage. Whole carriage, get your out for the lads. 4 15-year-old girls were like...
15?
Yeah, 15. Whenever we went again on the football special, which we did occasionally, we used to just sit in the carriage next to the police, so we didn't get any more stick. It was horrible.
Wow.
You get it. I have heard it now. 40 years later.
But think about that as well, like how we have to police ourselves. So what if you wanted to go to the loo? What if you wanted to go and get a cup of tea? After that experience, you haven't gone again. You're going to sit really quietly next to the police and have your life limited by being abused. It's not acceptable.
And that's the word actually that you've used there.
Yeah.
It's not funny, it's not banter.
No.
It's abuse.
Yeah.
Kate, you founded the Women of Watford supporters group last year. You went to your first away game, all in a group together against Brentford in December. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you about the result and how the game went, but what was it like as an experience with the women?
Yeah, it was so great. We all met in a pub beforehand, had a couple of drinks and food. We all walked to the game together. We all sat in the ground together. It was really, really great because it was the first time I'd ever been to football with a group of women.
Until WOW existed, I didn't actually have a group of girlfriends to go to the football with.
That's the same thing that I've had my whole life.
You know, the young girls, the 9-year-olds come into Watford games now. Actually, they're going to see there's a group of women sat together.
I can go and sit with them.
I can go and sit with them. That's really cool.
Natalie, you said you go in a big group with the men as well.
Yeah.
How do you think they perceive you? Have you ever felt like they perceive you differently?
I'm quite bubbly, I'm quite out there anyway, so I will start songs, I will get involved, and I feel like once they saw me doing that, oh, she's all right, she's with us, she's like us.
She's one of the lads.
She's one of the lads, and for ages I didn't mind that. Now I feel like it does need to change. I remember I was at a pub once and I was with my friend who didn't know anything about football, and this guy always looked at him first, always looked at the man when I was answering the questions, but always had to look at the man to sort of get that reassurance. Do you agree with her? Is what she's saying right? But my friend didn't know about football.
I also get women and football. Women don't know anything about football. Get that so much. Yeah, let's have football conversation then. I'm a qualified referee. I've run boys' football teams and my son's football team, so don't tell me I don't know anything about football.
Sitting here being surrounded by all of these women, you've been waving at other people from the supporters group as well. Does it make you feel safer?
It does, so much safer, especially as, you know, this is a new ground for us, so actually it's really exciting. And you can sense that in the crowd this evening. We're a lot louder than previous away games I have been to. So actually, I think if I was on my own, this would be quite intimidating.
We were at Wembley and I'd gone from my seat down onto the concourse looking for the toilets, and there was a group of guys there, and it was a hot day, so I was wearing shorts, and these guys felt the need to comment on the length of my shorts, the legs that were in the shorts, and really, quite vulgar comments, and did make me feel uncomfortable. And there was one guy who actually turned to me in the group and just said, "I'm really sorry about them, just ignore them. They don't mean it."
It's maybe about that gentleman turning around to his friends and saying, listen lads, cut it out, it's not what we want, it's not what we're about.
I found that really interesting because you're saying, you know, we do need to call it out. It's so hard to call out your friends, really, really hard. But that guy there actually has the potential to be an ally to women.
It shouldn't always be the black female or the female to do it. It should be, you know it's wrong, speak out, challenge it. If you know it's wrong, call it out.
But it does feel like having this conversation is progress. How much more do you think needs to be done, Kate?
A lot. So we have Women of Watford FC, or as we're known within the club as WOW. We are the Premier League's only female supporters group. Looking at the response that we've had at WOW, it's been overwhelmingly positive. So many women coming forward saying, yes, oh my gosh, yes, I'd love to join this group. So if that's happening within Watford, surely there's a need for it at other Premier League groups.
Everything we've been talking about is like women's experiences in our lives, and we're just talking about it as in application to football now. And I think the interesting thing there is you might have some people just thinking, oh, okay, well, football's just a microcosm of society, or it's a mirror of society, so but actually football can be a lightning rod.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for your company. This was something I felt incredibly passionate about, and every single experience you've all said is something I can relate to. I'm sure you guys can all relate to it as well. And hopefully by having this conversation at least, we'll start other conversations and we can all go back to hating each other's clubs now.
Yeah. Well, after filming this piece, a spokesperson from the National Police Council did say this, talked about the fact that they should report it. If you do hear anything of the kind, report it to the nearest steward or the police officer. That doesn't just have to be in a stadium either. As they've said there, it can be on a train. They're encouraging you to also approach the British Transport Police. They say they do take all reports of abuse seriously, and where a crime has been committed, they will work to bring perpetrators to justice. It's also worth noting there at the bottom, sexism and misogyny can be reported via the Kick It Out app and will be investigated. So a really thought-provoking piece, Anita, and one that we wish we didn't have to do. But when I pitched that piece to the BBC, the reason I wanted to do it because I thought that the Women of Watford Supporters Group was such a positive thing for female fans. And since then, lots of other fans have got in touch and said they would like them at their club. How important do you think it could be for women to have those type of groups?
I think it's brilliant, personally. I think it's great to see women come together and unite and form a group and a sense of community to just watch and enjoy football, because that's the beauty of football. It unites so many different people from all walks of life who share a common passion, and that's the game. And we need more of that. You know, people need to feel there's a safe space that they can be included and be part of.
Yeah, I think that's what it's about, a safe space. Everyone should feel safe watching football. Back to the game here tonight then, of course. A reminder, if you're just joining us, it's still goalless between Chelsea and West Ham in this latest WSL fixture. Chelsea, once again, having plenty of opportunities. It does look like Emma Hayes could be making a change here, though. Anita, Beth England looks like she's getting some instructions to come on. Are you surprised, or do you think that's a sensible move, given their luck in front of goal so far?
Yeah, I think that's a positive move for Chelsea. I think West Ham would have been the better, happier of the two sides going in at half-time goalless. So, you know, Beth England is a threat in the box and they're getting all their joy out in wide areas. So why not, you know, throw her in there?
From a West Ham point of view, we've talked about all of Chelsea's missed opportunities. You said Ollie Harder will be the happier of the two managers. Has it been a really impressive defensive performance, or have you seen that potentially they could make the breakthrough here themselves?
Absolutely. I think West Ham have shown that they have a solid foundation. They work really hard as a team. They're communicating well. They're defending well. And this half, they just need to be, you know, have more quality in the final third, especially when they get into these wide areas and they get their own deliveries.
Well, confirmation then, as you can see, Beth England is getting ready to come onto the pitch. We're hoping for goals in this second half. Time to hand you back to your commentary team of Laura Bassett and Peen Mullenstein.
Thank you very much, Kelly. Yes, we are hoping for goals in this second half. What are you hoping to see coming out in this second half?
Well, if it looks like Beth England's coming on, how she, you know, what she adds to Chelsea's attack. You know, she's that pivotal focal point, isn't she, with Harder, if she stays on the pitch, which I would presume so, making those runs, intelligent runs in the first half. But Beth England, serve her the ball, feed her the ball, you know, because we know she's such a really exquisite striker.
Well, she's ready to go, Beth England. And if she scores today, she will get her 50th WSL goal. And that is a real aim. Emma Hayes just giving some last instructions before she makes the change. What do you think she said at half-time?
I think she will explain exactly where Chelsea exploited West Ham, and I think certainly on the transition, the movement and pace that Chelsea can attack with Cuthbert, Harder, Kirby, you know, that's how they beat them. This time last week was the fast break attacks, you know, how direct they were. But also down that left-hand side, I really felt Jonna Andersson was getting the better down Kate Longhurst's sides, really combining nicely and getting some good balls in the box. And it's just about now believing yourself. Sometimes it takes time. You don't always get what you want in your first half, but they've certainly put the work rate in. They've had the attempts on goal. They've had the final third entries. So now it is really about believing in the team.
Well, it's Guru Wrighton who's made way for Beth England. And it's West Ham who'll get us back underway with Lisa Evans. Nil-nil, but who will be first to break the deadlock. Here's Evans. Now Phyllis. Back out to Walker. He was stopped in the tracks by Nowen.
It's a good early sign from West Ham. Kate Longer's ball in behind Nguyen, get her turned, ready for Evans to run on to. It's a warning sign for Chelsea. I think West Ham have done enough in this game to knock on the door, to keep letting Chelsea know that they're here, they're competitive, and when they do connect and get those combinations right in the final third, they can cause this Chelsea team problems.
Now Evans. Walker was down after a bit of a tussle with Anderson. The referee just making sure she's okay.
That's certainly something Claudia Walker gives you for the team. Focal point forward, and she'll fight for everything.
Ball comes in, but headed away by Nowen. Longhurst. Can't get away from Harder. And Anderson will look to get Chelsea out of this corner and away from danger now. Kirby. Charles running forward, now Cuthbert. Here's Anderson. Kirby. To Nowen. Anderson into Ingle, laid off to Kirby, but in the end it was intercepted by Wine. Only as far as Fleming. Ingle into Beth England, just couldn't quite stretch far enough to pick that one up, and Sissoko will try and get it away. Rebounded off England. And now it's a chance for West Ham to try and break away. Now one plays it safe and out for a West Ham throw.
That's that same ball again. We've already seen that ball be played in behind Nguyen, make her defend. You know, West Ham do certainly gain territory. You know, they want to gain territory, put the ball, make Chelsea defend, put it out, and get up the pitch as a team. They do that very well.
Just looks like a little bit of pain, perhaps, on the wrist of Claudia Walker. Either the way she fell, or may have just had a boot, perhaps, to her.
Yeah, there's certainly grappling, wasn't there? She was trying to stand her ground, grapple for the ball, protect herself, but like you say, probably a bit of both, the way she fell and having contact with the stud. And especially in this weather with no gloves, it's going to hurt even more.
Well, I'm not wearing gloves, so you are.
I am. I used to wear gloves when I played. I mean, Reynards, it was so cold. I don't blame Sophie Ingle wearing gloves.
Were you a bit of a Vivian Miedemar, short sleeves but gloves?
Oh no, I had it all on. Give me it all to keep warm. Probably because I didn't run enough, that was my problem.
Away by Anderson. Picked up by Sissoko, but they're straight out of play.
I think one thing we must mention for West Ham, their mentality. You know, they're really tough to beat, their mentality to stay in the game. They're physically hard, they can really stay together as a team, and that's something that grows and develops.
Well, Anderson just hassled off the ball there, and West Ham rewarded with a throw. And now here's an opportunity for Chelsea to break. England. Into Harder. Anderson, now Ingle. Harder drives forward, gets taken down just on the edge of the box. Ball was taken away from her by Wine. Still not cleared in. Cuthbert takes a shot. It was there. And Beth England on the follow-up made no mistake and puts Chelsea ahead and gets her 50th goal in the Women's Super League.
What a moment for Beth England. Exactly what her team needed in that moment. Great work by Erin Cuthbert to come inside, get her shot off, test the keeper, make her work. Anything that she spills, you can always rely on Beth England to reading the situation. She's alive, she stays alive. Great work from the right-hand side. Look, Erin Cuthbert pulls off a shot, and she's there, right place, right time. That's not by luck, that's by Beth England sensing the moment, sensing the danger. What happens next? And there she is to convert.
Well, a 5th goal of the season in all competitions, but her 50th goal in her Women's Super League career. And it's Beth England who breaks the deadlock for Chelsea. And now West Ham looking for the response. Longhurst. Back to Parker. Well, she's done, Laura, exactly what Emma Hayes has brought her on to do. She's found the breakthrough for Chelsea, and that is exactly what they needed.
Wow, and all credit to Beth England. Firstly, she's been on the pitch 6 minutes. Secondly, you know, I'm sure she would love to be playing.
The ball comes in, almost spilled away by Berger. Walker and Evans looking to try and make the most of it.
I'm going back to Beth England. I'm sure she would love to be playing every minute of every game, but sometimes as a player that's out of your control. All you can control is your performances in training, and then those minutes that when you do actually get the nod and get the starting shirt or get subbed on. So all credit to Beth England, you know, delivering in those moments. Big moment, big player, and stepped up.
And stepped up she did. Here come Chelsea again. Fran Kirby with a really quick run to get away and around a couple of the West Ham players. She was looking for Pernilla Harder, who was arriving in the box. Phyllis, back to Sissoko. Bright. Ingle. Laid off by Kirby. Now Cuthbert looking to send that ball forward, but it's intercepted by Parker, and Longhurst sends that ball forward for Walker. Walker will get there. Nowen was the first player to see it, though. England. And now there's acres of space here for Fran Kirby. Pernilla Harder and Beth England both arriving in the box as well. Now Beth England just couldn't quite get the touch she needed.
The pace and intensity of this game is really lively at the minute. West Ham not settling to go down lightly. You know, really taking the game. They're getting down the sides. They work the sides really well. Good delivery, good runners. Trying to pick at that second ball. But again, with that, opens up more space for Chelsea to come and play in the rotation. And when they come in field, you know, when the Cuthbert and Harder come in field, they really cause a lot of problems for West Ham.
Well, that was a perfect opportunity to try and get two in quick succession. It was a lovely cross, but she just couldn't quite get her feet right.
No, that's right. Fran Kirby takes her time. You can see she has 3 or 4 checks of her head. Her eyes are up, looking for her teammate, looking for Beth England's run, and it was a perfect weighted ball for her. But again, now because they've got their nose in front, they're 1-0 up, all of a sudden you can be a little bit more calmer, more composed. And just, you know, the mentality is we'll get the next chance, we'll score the next chance.
Well, that ball's dropped for Harder, who loops it over to look for Kirby. It's Kirby! Turned and took the shot, but Annalie spotted it and comfortably in her hands.
Initially, Sissoko defends that ball really, really well, but if you don't clear it, Fran Kirby's going to stay lively around your feet, and she does well to turn and get that shot off.
Parker. Back to Sissoko. Parker, again blocked by Ingle. Not letting any of the claret and blue shirts through. Now Wine.
Feels like West Ham have stopped supplying Svitkova, especially on that left-hand side. Can't get the ball to her with feet because she's that wing-back. She plays nicely in the space in between Cuthbert and Charles, but they find it really hard to get the ball to her. Kate Longhurst on this right-hand side on the right wing-back have seen a little bit more of the ball. But again, West Ham, they build their attacks when they get the ball to their wing-back so they can go quite vertical up the line and then deliver into the box.
Big kick away by Berger. And it's actually landed pretty well for Harder. Sissoko spotted it too. Charles. Ingle. Well, Chelsea were pretty pleased to be back on home soil. They're unbeaten here in the league this season so far. The last home meeting before this one, back in November. Now Anderson. Anderson's got a bit of space. And away by Fisk.
Feels like every time Berger goes long from a goal kick, you know, Chelsea are in behind. I think the Chelsea forwards, England, Kirby and Harder are reading the long ball quicker than the West Ham defenders are reacting to it, and they're making them defend, and they're at their back line.
Now. Ingle. Anderson. Here's Kirby. That's a nice bit of move from Chelsea. And England picks it up on the edge of the box. Kirby! A looping effort straight into the hands of Leet.
Really nice effort, wasn't it? I think the ball speed at which Chelsea are moving the ball is quicker this second half, a little bit more purpose, better runs off the ball, balls being played into space.
Well, here comes that goal again. Beth England able to find a breakthrough. Really all important breakthrough as well.
Really good initial pressure, wasn't it, Anderson? She reacted well, counter presses, and make sure the ball stays alive in that West Ham 18-yard box, and that's where initially starts the attack.
One ball over, Walker's trying to chase this one down, but it will be Nowen who gets there first.
Again, you can't underestimate the work that Evans and Walker do. A long ball over the top. You know, if you don't chase that, Nowen just sees it out for a goal kick, but Walker's chasing it down, making a play, keeping her honest, keeping her defending properly throughout the game.
Longhurst, the ball was taken away from her. And now they come again, Chelsea. Here's England. Couldn't keep that ball in play. Parker with a nice bit of skill to get away from Ingle. Snello was fouled there by Ingle.
Ingle's got up to the ball. She's caught her, hasn't she? It's definitely a free kick. And then catches her again afterwards. I think that one she was just trying to get to the ball.
Well, the cheers coming on again from Carly Telford, who can't be with us today. Of course, she wanted to say her farewells to the fans here before she heads off to States.
Yeah, I think it's really well, you know, timed by the fans. I think they know that Carly Telford will be listening at home, and I think she's been such a legend and servant to the WSL and Chelsea Football Club, and alongside many others. So, you know, it's only right that she gets a moment and the songs being cheered loudly for her, and everyone wishes her well, because I think she sprinkles that magic stardust in both on and off the pitch for every club she's been at. So I think everyone in the women's football community is super chuffed for her and hopes that she goes and enjoys her next opportunity.
Another Harder came chasing back and took that ball off Emma Snell. Fisk back to her keeper, Leet. Longhurst. Walker trying to chase this one down, but comfortably back to her keeper from Nowen. Harder.
All credit for West Ham for the work rate of this team. Every single player executing their job role, both out of possession. In possession, they're still trying to make runs forward to cause Chelsea some problems, but out of possession, they certainly stick to task. The amount of ground that they're covering, the high-speed runs, you know, they're certainly making this game competitive and not going down easy.
Anderson. Nice ball over to England. Bright. It's Phyllis for West Ham. Svitkova. Now Wine. Picked up by Walker. And Walker's dispossessed by Kirby. Here's Ingle. Harder's arriving. Just couldn't cut it in. Pernilla Harder. But again, Chelsea looking so dangerous.
They are, I think, for West Ham to turn over the ball quite easily, you know, showed a little bit of immaturity and poor decision-making in that moment. You know, you don't want to give them any extra added advantage and then to have an overload on the right-hand side. And Pernilla Harder, she moves so well. She's so quick in the acceleration. The way she can change direction with the ball. I think she changed direction too quickly and lost her foot in there.
There's Kirby. Gets away from Longhurst and tries to get away from Parker, does so. Ingle. Cuthbert. Now Anderson. Nolan. Spotted space for England. Sissoko got a touch to it. And it's a Chelsea corner.
Good defending from West Ham. Sissoko reading the situation. When Beth England shows to the ball, that's it. That's when you can make your tackle and make your movement towards the ball. She showed really a lot of maturity in this second half performance, a lot of calm decisions, but also making it really tough for Chelsea.
Decent delivery in, but it went straight to a West Ham head. They were able to get it out of danger. West Ham looking for a response to that Beth England goal in the second half. Found the breakthrough. Put on as a second half substitute, Beth England, and did exactly what she came on to do. Bright. Fleming. Now Kirby. Had to lay it off for Harder, but Sissoko is there once again. Wine. That pass intercepted by Cuthbert. Now they try and come again, but they won't be able to, Chelsea, because Fisk was there and got an important touch.
We're seeing in the second half a few turnovers in the central areas, trying to force the play, force an attack, and just making the wrong decision.
Cuthbert decided to go for goal. Longhurst. Molly Harder, never beaten. Emma Hayes' Chelsea lost all 3 matches as he makes his first substitution.
Substitution for West Ham, coming off the field, number 17, Mel
and it's
Phillips,
Stringer,
and she's been replaced by number 4,
who comes
Abby
on
Stringer.
as Phyllis makes way.
I think Stringer will add a focal point in that centre midfield. She's really good at reading situations, defending situations. She goes and senses the danger. I think she's been a really important player for West Ham this season. She gets up to the ball, really aggressive, and can intercept and read the play really well. And in possession, She joins in the attack well, and she really keeps this West Ham team ticking over with the ball, quite reliable on the ball.
Anderson. Svitkova. Think of a foot there. I think England almost got to that one.
I think what Chelsea are doing better in this second half is picking up the second ball, especially when West Ham go long in the channel. They're picking up that second ball and then creating their attack from there. It's really important. You've got to have players in the midfield reading the situation. And then when you win it, staying calm, keep the next pass, go forward. And then they have the willing runners. They'll always have the willing runners with Fleming, Cuthbert, Harder. But winning those second balls is so important.
Cuthbert. Ingle. Now Harder. And away by Fisk. Well, another change for Chelsea.
Substitution for Chelsea coming off the field, number 17, Jessie Fleming. And she'll be replaced by number 7, Jess
Jessie
Carter.
Fleming, who makes way for Jess Carter. Berger. There's Cuthbert. And now Carter. Carter again. Blocked, and it'll be a Chelsea corner. And straight away, she's in on the action.
Really good introduction from Jess Carter, isn't she? You know, we know that she likes to get forward again, but to link up well with Charles, to really pin West Ham back. The space is there. Really good decision making from her. That's what you want as a substitution. You want to get straight into the action, get a touch on the ball to grow into the game. Sometimes it's really hard to get into the game if you don't see the ball for a while. But both Chelsea substitutions have certainly done that.
Corner comes in, it's headed straight out by Wine. Only as far as Ingle. Wine out to Svitkova. Able to win the ball back, Chelsea. And Bright. Kirby. Loses out, but now and straight in there. And they go again. Harder will pick this one up. England and Kirby both in the box. It was Sissoko that made the all-important block. Well, they're knocking at the door, Chelsea. Sissoko to Fisk. There's Stringer. Harder. Anderson. Carter. Back to Bright. Well, it hasn't been the goal show that we had last week in the League Cup against West Ham. Of course, West Ham were knocked out. Chelsea won 4-2 in that one.
There's still time.
Well, the challenge came in again from Sissoko onto Kirby. Of course, Sissoko on that yellow card that she picked up in the first half.
See, good play from Beth England playing it into Kirby. And again, it was a foul. Needs to be careful, look. Don't think there was any intent there or extra unnecessary force. But again, a clear reminder for her and her teammates.
Well, it's Cuthbert who will take this for Chelsea. Cuthbert loops it over, looking for Harder. It's away by Fisk, and Evans will pick this up. Forward by Svitkova, but it's Carter to get it away.
I think you can see the discipline from Chelsea there when West Ham played a long ball, the amount of bodies running quickly, running to try to stifle the attack, get bodies back behind the ball. They certainly don't want to give this lead away. You can hear Emma Hayes on the side. It's about discipline. It's about doing your job, defending. And now it's up to West Ham to try and find a way to get through.
Svitkova has spotted Longhurst, who was just waiting on her own.
It's a big ask, isn't it, to go from wing back to wing back. You know, the idea was right, but maybe needed to be a little bit deeper in order for the execution to come off. But again, certainly when West Ham are playing well or on top, Svitkova and Longhurst are involved in the play. They get up and down, they get higher up, they come out to press. And we just haven't seen that in this second half especially.
Well, plenty more to look forward to in the Women's Super League. The next one is Chelsea against Manchester City, a huge game in the WSL. That's on BBC Two. Longhurst. Here's Wine. Parker. And intercepted there by Cuthbert.
That's what Erin Cuthbert does give you in the out of possession. You know, she's hungry, she does her job role. You know, she stops it, she makes it difficult for the opponent. She's super aggressive. And that sometimes sets the tone for your team and spreads throughout your team as an example of what's expected and the standard that's expected.
Parker. Here's Wine. Harder. Pernille Harder got herself a hat-trick last week against West Ham. It's Beth England, who's the player on the score sheet for Chelsea. Drew Spence getting ready to come on. England leaves this one for Kirby. Back to England. Stringer in the way. And Fisk sends it out for a Blues throw.
I think the intensity and the level that Chelsea have played at this second half, I don't really think West Ham have dealt with properly. You know, the ball speed in possession, moving the ball, the quick play, the movement, and then out of possession, I think Chelsea have counter-pressed well to stop West Ham playing forward comfortably.
Here's Kirby. Cuthbert! This is a great opportunity, and that is a great goal from Erin Cuthbert. It was a brilliantly struck goal. And Erin Cuthbert reaps the rewards for Chelsea.
I think that's the third left-footed shot that we've seen from Erin Cuthbert. The first left-footed shot ended in Beth England's tap-in. The second one went straight to the keeper's hand, and that third one was probably the best of all, wasn't it? Okay, she knows it's coming out. She knows Winey's there to make the tackle. But what a finish that is. Absolutely sublime. She knows the defender's coming in to make a tackle. She just needs to connect with the ball. But finds the opposite corner. Great finish.
Well, it was a fabulous finish for Erin Cuthbert, who gets her second WSL goal this season and adds to her tally of 5
been replaced by number 24,
in all competitions
Drew
as Pernille
Spence.
Harder makes way for Drew Spence. Smiles all round from the Chelsea bench.
I think in this second half as well, Cuthbert's gone into more of a centre midfield area. I think sometimes that's when we see her operate and give a different side to her game. You know, to be able to have that freedom to make inside runs to outside runs, you know, it brings out the best of her.
Beth England with the challenge there onto Sissoko.
The attendance tonight is 2,554. We regret that due to ongoing COVID restrictions, the players will not be available for autographs or photos after the game, but we'd like to thank you for your fantastic support.
Berger. Charles able to get that ball away from Snell. She's got 3 players surrounding her. Cuthbert's there to help. To Anderson. Nowen. England. Here's Kirby, they want more, Chelsea. Fell to Spence.
That's the second time we've seen that happen, isn't it? That straight ball. We saw Beth England miss and get mistime her footwork, and exactly the same happened to Drew Spence then.
Cuthbert. And her work rate, Erin Cuthbert, has just been non-stop all game today.
That's right, and I think it epitomises everything that this Chelsea team need at this point when goals aren't free-flowing. You know, you need to see other sides of the game emphasised and heightened, and that's something that I know these Chelsea players look to her to give.
Substitution for Chelsea coming off the field, number 14, Frank Kirby. And Kings Meadow, please welcome number 27, Alsu Abdelina.
Here's the player to make way. As Alsu Abdelina comes on and makes her WSL debut. She made her Chelsea debut as a substitute in that 4-2 League Cup win against West Ham last week. Stringer. Well, it's about that time then. Laura, who's your player of the match?
I think the romantic people out there would have liked me to give it to Beth England. I also think that Frank Kirby and Pernilla Harder have stretched the line very well. Their work rate has been good, their movement. But I'm going to give it to Erin Cuthbert today. You know, I'm really pleased that she got her goal, but I think, you know, she hasn't stopped her work rate out of possession, you know, her tackles, her pressing, getting up to the ball, relentless, all those things, but also in possession. You know, what she gives you, her movement, her reliability on the ball. That goal was sublime. You know, she's got the assist for the first goal, and then to get her goal, I think she's capped everything that, you know, you want in these moments, in these periods, to get these 3 points. You know, you look at Erin Cuthbert, and she is that whole player and gives you both sides of the game. So that's my reasons.
Well, they were looking to keep on going, and Sissoko just knocked into her own keeper. Stringer. Why? Nice turn away from Snurler. And now Fisk. Here's Svitkova. Ball's just nicked away from her. And Carter will try and come forward. There's no foul. Carter can play on. And Fisk got that all-important touch. Do you think West Ham will feel hard done by that they were able to keep Chelsea at bay for so long, and then those 2 goals? I mean, they were brilliant goals from Chelsea. Could they have done more, though?
Yeah, perhaps you look at the way the first goal went in terms of, you know, a mistake from Leach. You know, she got down well, but, you know, could she have held on to it a little bit better? I think there's definitely some positives that they can take out from this game. You know, they've been ultra competitive. You know, the way they play, they're super aggressive. They, you know, they don't sit back. They don't get everybody behind the ball and let Chelsea break them down. You know, they're very aggressive. They come out.
And almost Spence in on goal. But Sissoko was there once again.
But in terms of maybe they will be disappointed tonight, they haven't really caused Chelsea too many problems, but they have some big players missing. If you include the players that are at the Asia Cup, you know, missing Brynjarsdottir, I think is a huge miss for that. If she plays tonight, you know, maybe some of those balls into the box that we saw a lot of in the first half, maybe one of those goes in.
Well, a bit of a loose pass at the back from West Ham. Chelsea look to take advantage. Anderson. Bright. Cuthbert.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 4 minutes added time.
Well, the fans certainly enjoying this one. A big 3 points for Emma Hayes' side. If they can go the distance with this one, it seems unlikely that West Ham will be able to get it back, but they have 4 minutes to see if they can get something. As the ball comes in.
I think Emma Hayes will be super proud of her performance in terms of the first half. It looked a bit similar to the Brighton game, didn't it? Lots of chances created but couldn't convert. But then second half, you can really see a, you know, real purpose with this team, with what they're trying to do, with how they've played in and out of possession. And wanted to change the narrative of that. And now you see enjoying the ball, moving the ball, and a bit of like the movement and freedom that we've seen Chelsea play with the first half of the season.
Anderson. Bright. Well, the fans now cheering on the Chelsea manager, Emma Hayes. This will have been a good outing for the fans to have come and watched. Ingle. Svitkova. That ball bounced straight into the pathway of Bright.
I think some of Berger's distribution tonight has been fantastic, especially second half, you know, picking the right moment, the right pass. It's a lot, you know, because she's got a lot of time and space on the ball, sometimes that's even a harder decision.
Anderson. Crossed that ball into the top of the box, but no blue shirt's able to pick it up here. Stringer. Walker. And headed upfield by Wine. That won't do West Ham any good. Just 30 seconds left. As it looks like West Ham's 5-game unbeaten run comes to an end. Well, it doesn't get much easier, though, for Chelsea in the next couple of fixtures. They face Aston Villa and then Manchester City and Arsenal, 2 huge games coming up for the current WSL champions. And there goes the full-time whistle. That is a big 3 points for Emma Hayes' Chelsea. Nelly Harder and West Ham's 5-game unbeaten run in the WSL comes to an end. But those 3 points, you can see how much that means to Emma Hayes. Puts Chelsea back up to second in the Women's Super League table. Just 1 point from the league leaders, Arsenal. And it was all thanks to the breakthrough from Beth England. Came on as a substitute, did exactly what she had to do, and found the breakthrough. And then Erin Cuthbert with a fine, fine finish to make it 2-0. And your thoughts on that game, Laura?
I think Chelsea thoroughly deserved it. I thought they matched West Ham for everything. Competitiveness, fight for the ball, first and second balls, the attitude, determination. But I also think if Chelsea are to keep scoring, they need to wrap Pernilla Harder and Frank Kirby up in cotton wool, because exactly what they give this team, the movement, you know, the quality, you know, if they are need to keep pushing this table, they need to keep those fit and wrap them up. But all credit to West Ham, they made it difficult, and there'll be lots of lessons learned from tonight's performance.
Well, plenty of chances, and it was Chelsea who took full advantage at full time. Chelsea 2, West Ham United 0.
Yes, Chelsea back to winning ways here at Kingsmeadow, their first home game since the 8th of December, and it's all smiles for Emma Hayes and her team on the pitch at full time. I watched this one in the company of the current Aston Villa and former Blues defender Anita Asante. Did Chelsea get what they deserved in the end there, Anita?
Yeah, I think Chelsea deserved the result in the end, especially in the second half. They really ramped up the intensity, the ball speed, you know, the way they switched the play. I think, you know, Beth England obviously made an impact as soon as she came into the game, and they got their just desserts in the 2 fantastic goals they scored.
Yeah, that's the definition of a super substitute appearance from Beth England. They're coming on at half-time and helping her team on their way to 3 huge points. Erin Cuthbert as well with the second goal, a brilliant goal. We'll see it in a minute, but we've come to get used to that kind of strike from Cuthbert, haven't we?
I mean, Erin scored some blinders, you know, in her time at this club, but today, again, she was just unbelievable all over the pitch. She's so dogged in and out of possession. She works hard for the team to get the ball back in transition, but she creates so much for the team in possession. And today she scored a wonderful goal with a wonderful strike.
I love it when the players go into a huddle like this at full time. So many teams in the WSL do this. You can see it's quite intense there, as it always is with Emma Hayes. What will she be saying to her team? It looks like they're potentially heaping praise on Beth England.
Yeah, I think she'll be, like you said, telling the girls, especially Beth, you know, what an impact she makes, and that's what a squad performance is about. She talks about having, you know, 15 players available today, and they all put in a shift today to get the result, especially off the back of a draw. So it was an important win, an important 3 points for Chelsea to close that gap between them and Arsenal.
Do you think that Emma Hayes is learning a lot about her team at the moment, because they're having to find other ways to win? They're used to, aren't they, being quite free scoring, and they haven't been of late.
Yeah, I think, you know, she's having to adapt as well with the players they're missing at the Asia Cup. But I think it's also an opportunity for the players that don't play as regularly to show what they can do, and also for the team to show how versatile they can be tactically, as well as in terms of their style of play. Because Chelsea will throw all sorts of different challenges at you. You know, they can play through you, they can play around you, they'll go beyond you, and they've got the players that can hurt you.
That's the words of a player that's played for them and against them. I can tell from that. We're seeing the WSL table there as well. The fact it is such a huge win is because Chelsea are now within a point of Arsenal. What a title race we've got, Anita.
Yeah, it's building up to be an exciting title race, and, you know, obviously it's probably going to go down to the wire, I think, in especially the games where they meet each other. But testament to Chelsea again today to show that they are, you know, back fighting after their draw, like as we mentioned over the weekend, and that they are going to put pressure on Arsenal, and especially, you know, the other clubs that might be thinking they're not having the kind of season that we're used to seeing them, where they're just running away with everything.
Yeah, looking at that, the fans enjoying it here as well tonight. They were in brilliant voice. As Peen said in commentary, they were cheering for Carly Telford, but also for the players on the pitch tonight. When we look at Chelsea, Emma Hayes said before the game, she was very relaxed, in fact, in her pre-match interview, sorry. She was saying, I'm not worried. This is Chelsea. We are Chelsea. And I think in that second half, we saw that maybe all of the frustrations and everything was starting to come together.
Yeah, I think the second half, the Chelsea side, you know, really clicked into gear. They built that intensity, like I said. They were moving the ball a lot more comfortably, and actually West Ham couldn't match it in the end. I think they were winning the first and second balls and counter-pressing really well in that final third. And Emma, you know, she showed that she was calm. I think she trusted the players to come in today and to fulfill their objective, and they've done that.
Yeah, let's take a look at the goals that did win it for Chelsea in the end then, because they had 75 shots but without scoring in the WSL. It took them until the second half today, and it did come through. Super sub Beth England. Talk us through this move from your point of view, Anita.
Well, this is a great strike initially. Erin Cuthbert picks up the ball on the right-hand side. She drives in on her left foot, takes that strike, and the keeper parries it into the box. And
that's a poacher's finish.
It's a poacher's finish from Beth England. But, you know, you could argue that the keeper potentially could have done better there to parry the ball away from the centre of the box. But Beth England was the first player to come alive in that situation.
Is that what Chelsea have been missing? You said to me at half-time that Sam Kerr, this kind of game was exactly the kind of game that Kerr would have thrived in. Is that what they've been missing? Someone that's a fox in the box, for want of a better phrase?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Beth England is that player today that showed that she has that kind of asset. You know, she's the type of player that stretches play. She can hold up the ball well, but she's also got the intelligence to come alive where other players don't come alive in those situations, and to finish clinically in the box.
Erin Cuthbert with a big smile on her face there at the pitch. The Chelsea fans just soaking up the atmosphere. Their first home game, of course, in quite some time here at Kings Meadow. This is the goal that she scored, and as I said before, this is a brilliant finish, and I feel like quite often we see these type of goals from her.
Well, you know, Erin, she's just such a busy player, isn't she? You know, she's always wanting to get on the ball, and in this occasion, picks up the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box, you know, from Frank Kirby, and it's a lovely left-footed finish. And you know, Leet isn't able to get across there to make the save.
Yeah, the keeper wasn't really left with any chance there, was she?
No, not at all. And again, it just shows the quality that this Chelsea side has in terms of the depth, and you know, Erin was exemplary of that today.
It's funny, isn't it? Because we stood here at half-time and talked about how good Pernilla Harder was, and it kind of felt like if anyone was going to get the breakthrough for Chelsea, it was going to be her. Does that just demonstrate how many good attacking players Chelsea have?
Yeah, and Pernilla was unfortunate not to get on the score sheet today herself, because she was involved in a lot of the attacks that Chelsea created today. You know, she was involved from crossing situations, and she's not afraid to get ahead and attack the ball. She's good when she drives in between the lines and brings other people into play. And that's this Chelsea side. Like I said, they've got a toolkit, if you like, of different ways to hurt you, with lots of players who can affect the game in different ways.
Well, in a moment, we will be hearing from the Chelsea boss, who I'm sure is very happy indeed, Emma Hayes. She's on her way over to us now. But in case you hadn't heard, there's something rather exciting coming up on the BBC.
The Olympic Winter Games, extreme by nature, starts Friday 4th of February across the BBC.
Really looking forward to that. There's plenty of other sports to come on the BBC as well. You can watch highlights from tennis's Australian Open on the BBC iPlayer. BBC Sport journalists and guests from the world of football discuss the day's big stories on the Football News Show, available to watch also now on the BBC iPlayer. On BBC Sounds, you can listen to live ball-by-ball commentary of Australia versus England on the first day of the Women's Ashes in Canberra tonight at 10:30 p.m. And we'll be back on Sunday the 6th of February when Chelsea face Manchester City in the WSL. We'll be live from 12:15, building up to that one. And someone alongside me who I'm sure is very much looking forward to that game against Manchester City. Emma Hayes joins us now. Emma, good to see you. I was expecting a massive smile on your face, particularly after that second half performance from your side.
Yeah, I'm just happy we scored scrappy goals. Like, I've got the team that wants to score the most perfect goal. So I'm delighted it was scrappy, to be honest with you, the finishes.
Is that what you've needed a little bit more of recently?
Yeah, like we want to walk the ball into the net. I've said it before, we create the highest XG, we create the most chances across the league, don't score enough goals for the amount we create. So the type of goals that I want more of them goals for us.
And Beth England, what an inspired substitution that was.
Yep. No, the reality is that we needed that, and I thought her response to coming on the pitch was great. She did a great job for the team. That's her 50th WSL goal, and you know, I'm delighted with how quickly she settled into the second half.
We've seen how creative Erin Cuthbert can be for you of late. Obviously, we'll come on to her goal in just a moment. But was it the way Beth anticipated this shot that impressed you?
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about second phases in lots of instances, that we spend a lot of time watching the first, hoping it rockets the top corner. Beth is first to react, and that's why she's on the score sheet, because she feared that it wouldn't go in. And I think sometimes for us, we've got so many great players we know that can finish with a range of finishes, but sometimes I think you just need goals like tonight.
If that one was scrappy, the one from Erin Cuthbert wasn't, was it? This was a lovely finish.
Look, we deserved to win the game. We'd had enough chances to win the game, especially in the first half. But this lovely link-up play between Beth and Fran, and as it's come across, she knows what I've been asking of her.
What have you been asking of her?
That she, you know, the number of chances she gets. I mean, the number of goals she gets for the chances she gets is not enough. This is the next step for Erin, and she'd turn around to me and say, well, put me in that area more often, because she's always got something to say for herself, that one.
She's a character, isn't she?
She's a brilliant character. She's played 150 games for us. She's like, you know, she's a warrior. She's got absolutely everything to her game, and really happy for her the goal went in, because I felt a little bit like if the goal doesn't go in, Neats knows this, players start to get a little bit anxious, a little bit tight, and I'm glad it came so early in the second half.
How's it been, Emma, for you to work with a smaller squad since you've got so many players away, you know, with the Asia Cup?
Brilliant, amazing. I don't have to annoy people, that many people on a daily basis. It means I can keep everybody relatively happy because they're getting minutes. So for that reason, I absolutely love it.
And also you've adapted to a back four again. Yeah. What's the reasoning behind that?
I often change. You know, I felt like, with no Magda, that we've lost a little bit of leadership in there. So Anique's come into the team. I thought Anique had a tremendous game tonight. I thought her distribution was outstanding. I thought she defended very well. So for those reasons, we decided to go with a back three rather than put Anique in a position where perhaps she's still learning.
And Berger had some outstanding distribution today. Is that something that you've been working on in the training pitch?
We've been working on our movement and trying to create opens. They man mark everywhere in those phases, so you have to drag them apart and find the right situations. Anne's got a really good eye for waiting for the right moments, and I think in the second half we exploited the central corridor really, really well, and I thought we got chances early in the second half as a result of that distribution.
We were just looking at the table just before you came over, and we were saying for neutrals, it's all looking very exciting there at the top. You've gone to within a point of Arsenal now. It's all shaping up to be quite exciting, especially given that game that I spoke about just as you were coming over against Manchester City. There's some big games coming up for your side, aren't there?
Listen, it is every week. Like, every manager's going to tell you this. This league is tough. There isn't like, oh, well, this is the big... No, of course, for you guys and selling... You know, getting people to watch the television, it's big. But it's Brighton, great team at the weekend. I tell you what, West Ham are a really good side. I can see why they've only lost, I think, 2 games this season in the league. I can totally appreciate that. That stands for the rest of the league. It's a good league.
You are looking at the league table there. How much attention do you pay to it?
Honestly, none. 0, because some have played more games than others. I ask people that work with me. I often ask them, what's our goal difference? What's this? How many do we need? I don't pay attention to it.
Well, we're very much looking forward to watching you against Manchester City a week on Sunday, live on the BBC once again.
Brilliant.
Emma, thank you so much for your company and for that brilliant second half performance, particularly from your side. That's all from us here tonight. Live WSL action for you once again from Kingsmeadow. As you've been hearing, we'll be back a week on Sunday. Don't go anywhere. What a title race we've got. See you soon. Bye-bye.